Well, good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, all around the world. Welcome to time for the WADcast, the writers, actors, directors podcast, as well as all of those other jobs on a set for film and television production. This is episode number 45, and I'm one of your hosts. I was about to say I'm one of your hosts, Brandon. Now, I'm one of your hosts, Josh, and the guy laughing at me is Brandon.
God. What is up, everybody? Happy Friday. It's good to have everyone back here after, like 2 weeks now. I know we planned to do it last week, but then we pushed it off for 2 days because I had, I work, girls got to eat. And then Sunday didn't happen, so we just decided to push it off to today. It's like being back in high school again, man. It's like I'll get around to my homework.
That's why we're failing according to that one guy.
Well, honestly, every one of our shows, for the most part, and we've discussed this. Mm-hmm. A secret to our well-thought-out programming is a very last-minute, oh shit, what are we talking about tonight kind of conversation. And it usually happens within an hour before the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
But we've actually had tonight's topic for a minute. You mentioned this to me a while back, easily well over 2-3 months ago, and we just never got around to the topic at hand. We've actually kind of
close.
We've I think we've touched on it briefly, but we never really delved into it. So you want to introduce tonight's topic?
Oh yes, I do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, there are people out there, and people do things. Some of these people are artists, right? They create things, whether it's film, music, television, whatever. They create things. But the problem with people is sometimes they are just awful. So the question becomes, if somebody does something truly awful, does that affect the way you look at the art they create? And, why or why not? Is there some sort of scale that you use to figure out, this atrocity is much worse than that atrocity, so I'm good with watching their material. There are just so many examples of truly terrible people making very fine art, and it's sad, really. But the fact of the matter is, it happens, and I think it's up to spoiler alert. I think it's up to each one of us in the end to decide what is acceptable and what's not, and where our own moral compass leads us. So I guess that's the show. So good night, everybody.
Been a pleasure having you guys. Shortest show ever, 4 minutes. But that's exactly it. I mean, you have different celebrities, and not just celebrities. You have powerful people at play, and this is not some right-wing conspiracy. Unfortunately, there are horrible people in any field that you ever work in, music and television, film. The whole entertainment industry is filled with egos and people who look at themselves as being untouchable. No, I'm not talking about Pizzagate and all that, just conspiracy theory bullshit. We have people it was just 2 years ago with Harvey Weinstein. This is a man who made our favorite director, Kevin Smith. He created Kevin Smith. You know what I mean. He created his career. He saw something in Kevin Smith, and he really gave him the free run to do whatever he wanted to do with his films. And Kevin Smith has attested to this. If it were not for Harvey Weinstein, he would not be where he is today. But then at the same time, Harvey Weinstein, there are so many accounts of his ego, and I'm not just talking about the sexual allegations and the trial and his imprisonment, all that stuff. I'm talking about just how he was with people in general, how he would act like he owned them. He's a horrible person, absolutely horrible excuse for a human being. But there are so many films from like the Weinstein Company that was just they're fantastic films. So that begs the question: would you consider, like, knowing full well that one of the Weinstein brothers was accused of all these things, and like not just one of them, but the big name of the duo was responsible for these atrocities and these horrific acts against women? The way he talks to people and the way he treated people, would you go about still watching his films? You know, Johnny Depp, things like that. I mean, like, you know, the whole Amber Heard thing, like that's nothing new either.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, could you watch these films, and more importantly, would you watch these films made by a production company founded by a man who, you know, raped or sexually assaulted women? I don't want to say, was there rape involved, or was it just sexual assault? I mean, neither one's good, but like, you know, rape is definitely horrible. I mean, it's not like, oh, well, thank God it's only sexual assaults. But I mean, sexual assault and rape are, of course, two different beasts. But
let's put a pin in your backpedal real quick, and let everybody know that joining us right now, the other person that is going to make me outnumbered from the East Coast, Mr. Kinte. What is up, man?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Oh, Kinte, what's up? I didn't even know you joined. I wasn't looking at the StreamYard section. I was looking at my notes here. Hi, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Our bipod has become a tripod.
Yeah, I was having some technical difficulties, and then it finally cleared up. It was weird, but I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, we are. Have you heard any of?
No, I just came now.
No, basically what we said was trying to figure out how you separate an artist from the art when the artist is scumbag. Is that a good way to describe Brandon? Scumbag.
I'll go with scumbag.
Okay, yeah, scumbag.
Human waste also works.
And the first thing we delved into was Harvey Weinstein, and my instant reaction to that when asked, "Can you watch any of the Weinstein, company movies?" It's like that is such a wide brush, right? There are so many amazing movies from the Weinstein Company, and as horrible as the accusations, the allegations, and whatever are, and as much as I would love to be on the moral high ground of saying I object to his actions, so I shall not watch his films, I can't because there are so many. I can say I won't spend any money to watch them if that counts for anything.
Well, I mean, then you wouldn't be able to watch the Kevin Smith movies, right?
Well, now Big Kev just does everything himself, right?
Right.
But yeah, to be able to take Clerks out of the rotation would crush my soul, and I can't do that. My love and sympathy goes out to everybody that he's, done harm to, but Clerks.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many people it takes to make a film, and it's not like he's the star of the movies, where you got to see his ugly face. So I think it makes it a little easier with him because you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're not really looking at him doing it.
Right.
Right. So, and if you think about it, if you use that metric for every film, probably wouldn't watch anything because I'm sure, a lot of the other producers are right there with him,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, with someone like Harvey Weinstein, I mean, like I said at the start of the show, he was a very powerful figure in Hollywood. He was just like an unstoppable force until, of course, he was stopped. But But the thing is that still didn't technically stop him. Like, no, he's no longer producing films. But, you know, the only way to, like, he's got like a whole worldwide web of contracts. This man is just like he still has his fingers in everything as far as ways to make money. So to look at these things, like there are movies like, what was it? Pulp Fiction, the Scream films, Good Will Hunting, any Kevin Smith film. These are all films that he was directly related to back during Miramax, that he still had contracts with payments and everything else. So if you watch those movies, he's still making money. But the only really way to make sure that he gets nothing from you is, well, from now on at least, is if you either own them on DVD or Blu-ray, or if you just don't watch his movies altogether if you don't own them. Like that, or you can just go piracy. That works too.
The
views and opinions about piracy do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the WADcast.
There we go. Thank you. I was waiting for that.
No, I feel like you can. I feel like, like I said, I feel like you could watch those movies.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Well, let's look at it this way. He's not going to be around much longer. I mean, if you just look at the man. Like, I mean, so fortunately, the money's going to get to his estate, and hopefully his estate will actually do something responsible with the money. But I believe he still makes a 20% stake in anything related to the Weinstein Company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so. I'm sure it goes on his books, and it allows him some smokes.
Someone watch Killers. I can buy cigarettes.
Yeah. Oh my God! I can buy a honey bun from the commissary now.
And you know what? Hey, he's earned his smokes.
Like, it's a shame. Like when you see someone that has such a great eye for amazing storytelling, and then they choose the path that they choose.
He had a great eye for tail too.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he. Yeah.
I mean,
I'll have to take your word for it.
Wait, too soon? Too soon?
There's so many jokes I want to say right now that I won't say, but it's like the jokes line up. Okay, you guys have seen the movie Kick-Ass, right?
Yes.
There's a line in Kick-Ass that was very similar to what I was about to say. But in the movie Kick-Ass, he says, like, well, I was thinking about being a superhero, but like any serial killer will tell you, sometimes you just have to stop thinking about it and start doing it.
Right. Hilarious.
Like, I won't say the joke I was thinking. It's only because of the fact that I disdain the act of rape more than any other crime ever. But it's such a vile act, and someone like him, But I mean, like coming off of Harvey, though, we have other people like, and Kinte, I was telling Josh, I posted on the WADcast page a couple pictures of different celebrities and famous personalities that are in the midst of some kind of legal battle or like discrepancy against the law, stuff like that. One person did not put on there is actually a very popular actor right now still, and it's Mark Wahlberg, who
what
people think oh yeah, Mark Wahlberg, he committed like a couple hate crimes. He beat the shit out of some I forget, I believe it was like a black kid, but he beat the hell out of him. And he went on racial tirades and everything back in like the Marky Mark days. Like he was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
look, his music alone was offensive, but come on,
it didn't have good vibrations.
No, it didn't give me good vibrations. I like the Beach Boys better, but
fair.
No, yeah, a lot of people don't know that he was like an evil bastard, and honestly, he's tried to erase his past more so than atone for his past. In my estimation.
Exactly, that's exactly it.
Yeah, that's why I kind of you know, I mean, like if you really are sorry for what you did, then you do what you got to do to atone for it. But it seems like he's always trying to to just get rid of the record versus really atone for what he's done. And that's the thing that kind of gives me pause about him because that doesn't sound like a man that's fully changed, right? Thank you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I can understand if there's a celebrity that was, or like a powerful person that at one point did some racist shit. Now racism is it's never acceptable. It's horrible. But if you're a person that had a certain kind of view about the world, and that view has changed, and you changed with your views for the better, and you acknowledge it and you address it, you know what? By all means, like I'd be more than happy to discuss it with you. And if you're not a douche, then by all means, like I'd be more than happy to have you as part of my life, especially if that has changed. I mean, I come from such a melting pot of a family. I have pretty much every single ethnicity in my family, and I don't understand that. But it's like with Mark Wahlberg, it's something that I'm sure it's been addressed a few times, but it's never really been, to my knowledge, something that he's openly discussed.
No.
It's just really something like, it's just like, oh yeah, well this happened back then. It's like, oh yeah, well let's talk about my new movie, Ted. Like
every once in a while it'll get brought up and then he, gets upset or whatever. But I feel like there's a lot of people who feel like there has not been a real accountability for it. So that's why a lot of people that's why it won't go away, Yeah.
No, that's it. Like, I mean, all you have to do is just own it. Be like, yeah, listen, I was stupid. I was younger. I had a very askew idea of what the world was and my placement in it. I have changed. I do not think that way anymore. But and I'd have respect for him. Like, I mean, let's face it, Mark Wahlberg's not going to be like an Oscar-winning actor anytime soon.
Yeah, his view was askew.
Like, yeah. Speaking of Kevin Smith,
you like that, Josh? That was good.
That was good.
But Josh, what do you have?
Heartburn.
Oh, okay. Well, then lay off the Arby's. It's delicious, but we've all eaten there. I had no idea. It beats in and out. It beats in and out, but still, like just.
Josh got the meats.
Yeah, he does.
The meat sweats.
The meat sweats. Now, what part of your body is sweating with meat sweats? Is it like you had Arby's a few hours ago and so you know what? That's a whole different conversation for a different type of show.
Yeah, that's a different podcast altogether. So join us every Wednesday night for the Arby's meat sweats with the three of us.
Yeah, that conversation belongs on the other WADcast, not ours. But there is another WADcast. Did you know that? It's called With All Due Offense.
That's what you.
And it's just like a bunch of people trying to be edgy and talking about really offensive stuff. So that's why on Instagram I always. Oh, I don't. No. I listened to one episode back when we were starting the website because I had to I want to make sure that we weren't copying. Remember, we were making sure we weren't copying anybody, or we were taking anyone's name. Now we're not taking a name; we're taking the same initials, but we have more followers. So.
But back to the topic at hand, I never knew anything about Mark being anything other than a total Bostonian. And come think of it, everything you just said checks out that. So I guess I'm not really surprised. No offense to Bostonians, but you know what you are. But that does beg the question, doesn't it? Yeah, Harvey was easy to kind of dismiss, not what he did, but being able to push him aside because he's a producer, first and foremost. Or at least he was. And the idea of, for lack of a better term, canceling everything that he's ever produced is a bit on the absurd side. Because, like Kinte said, that is thousands of people's livelihoods. And unfortunately, the damage has been done, but also the movies have been made, and people still need to get paid. The good thing is that there don't appear to be any future projects coming up with the Harvey Weinstein name attached. So that's good.
Actually, that's not true. He's doing the jailhouse. He's doing a jailhouse production of West Side Story.
Damn it! I think I'm in on that one.
Oh my God!
Sorry. How could I not?
I just want to know who's going to sing "I Feel Pretty." Let's talk about the costume department there and the casting.
Hilarious.
Look, considering his eye, wherever it is, I think they're going to nail it. And
oh God!
Other things.
I feel pretty. I feel pretty. Sing it better, or I'll shank you. I feel pretty and witty and gay. Oh man. Okay, I'll stop.
So what do you do when the person, the artist in question, is a more forward face like the Mark Wahlberg? And I understand. It appears that the things that Marky Mark did back in the day was like Marky Mark days, right? He's probably come around to be only half the Bostonian he used to be. So I'm not saying that gives him a pass by any means, but I don't know if I'm going to not watch his movies. But when it comes to, say, okay, let's look at Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, right?
Okay, yeah.
There is a lot of scuttlebutt around the both of them when it comes to their future projects. Johnny Depp has apparently lost some work because of the things going on.
Some?
Well, Kevin Smith's always going to... How come Kevin Smith always comes... It always comes back to him.
Because Kevin Smith and Johnny Depp's daughters went to the same school, and we're in we're in the those weird ass movies that Kevin Smith did. The what was it, Tusk and Yoga Hoosers.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
how it goes back to him.
But like Johnny Depp, he's been feeling the brunt, but I've seen a lot of talk from the fandoms that DC, God forbid they ever make a right decision, needs to get rid of Amber Heard. And that, I'm not saying it's a movement of any kind, but there is backlash coming from all directions for both of these actors.
Yeah. Well, the thing that makes that a little, I don't want to say questionable, but there's things that definitely don't fit in the mold too well properly. You have Johnny Depp on one hand, right? This whole physical abuse and domestic violence and all that stuff. Every single one of his exes has had his back and talking about how even in his most stressed moments, he has been nothing but the sweetest of person to them. He had some, I guess blow ups and everything else, but he's never been violent with them. He raise his voice. Sure, who the hell doesn't raise their voice? What relationship does not have an argument or a fight? Who does not snap at the other person? It happens in every relationship. But with Amber Heard, even her ex was talking about how she got very violent with her. She got violent with her when they got into arguments. She would throw things and had a bad temper and all that stuff.
Was that a lesbian relationship?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's so Amber Heard got violent with her, threw stuff at her, and this made the news. And so the whole situation, Amber Heard is still excelling in her career, and Johnny Depp has, let's see, Pirates of the Caribbean did not finish like their 6-movie run. They decided to just like stop it after the last film. And then they also fired him from Fantastic Beasts. I think he's pretty much damn close to completely unhireable right now in the eyes of Hollywood. Amber Heard, on the other hand, is still getting work, coming in. Now, as far as your question earlier, Josh, with Mark Wahlberg, I have a very easy way to not watch his films, and it's simply because of the fact that I can't stand Mark Wahlberg. There are movies that he's in, and if I watch those movies, it's because someone else is in those movies. And unfortunately, like, there's no way of knowing what his contract was, like if he's making residuals off of, if he's making any kind of payments, or if he just got like one, complete salary for that film itself. But like the other guys, I watch it because Will Ferrell was hysterical. Michael Keaton sold me on that movie. Like, I mean, him quoting TLC songs the entire movie. Ted, I mean, he was okay in that, but Seth MacFarlane was the funny person in that movie. Now I still have yet to see Ted 2, so it's whatever. But when it comes to things like Johnny Depp, like, I mean, like, Kinte, what are your views on that whole situation? I mean, you have someone like Johnny Depp who has this track record. I mean, he's, like, in my mind, he's a very talented actor. He's actually, like, like one of the biggest character actors in Hollywood. We have plenty. But he's, like, one of the biggest ones to me, where he just, like, he does whatever he does. He wears these fantastical, costumes, and he pulls off these imaginative characters. But what are your views on the whole thing?
No, I mean, Johnny Depp was set up. I mean, if you listen to those tapes, to me, it's a done deal. He should be back in the rotation. Mark Wahlberg is a terrible actor who is an idiot. He's an idiot. He can't act at all. The fact that he was nominated for an Academy Award makes my stomach turn.
Was he? Oh, he was.
Yeah,
that's
for
right.
Departed.
Yeah, that's right.
He was okay in the movie, but I didn't watch it and go, man, he should be nominated.
Mark Wahlberg was Mark Wahlberg in The Departed. Let's face it. He was just an angry Bostonian. That's all he was.
Right. So that's why I was like, how the hell is he nominated for this? I mean, the movie was great, but his performance was just average.
If you give an actor a character to play, and the character is pretty much that actor, then of course they're going to look like an amazing actor.
Right. That's like if you hire Josh to be a single father who loves Kevin Smith's movies. I mean, I think he could knock that out the park.
I think so.
That project is in pre-production.
Oh, man. So, no, but I don't know. Yeah, he's terrible. And then he's an idiot, too. If you listen to some of his quotes, if he was on the plane that crashed into the Pentagon, he something different would have happened.
That's right.
I would have taken those terrorists out. No, you would have got killed before the plane crashed into the Pentagon.
He would have gotten cut by one box knife and started crying his eyes out. That's what would have happened.
Yeah, you know what? I hope I'm in a bank and some people rob it and he's there. I'm going to look at him. All right, badass. Go ahead and handle this.
Just to let you guys know, I just got an email, and Mark has canceled his appearance for us next week.
Good.
No, this is like, Kinte, I'm with you, man. Like, if you and I happen to run into each other in, like, an LA bank, right? And Mark Wahlberg is there, and all of a sudden a whole bunch of armed guards and armed robbers in ski masks come running in, and they're zip tying everyone. The first thing on my mind is, like, you guys are going to be really sorry. Mark Wahlberg is here.
Right. All right, come on, Mark. Let me see. You know what? What's her name?
You're a peacock. I'm going to let you fly.
What's the girl from the Resident Evil movies?
Oh, Mila Jovovich.
I have better faith in her doing something than the Mark Wahlberg. Okay, Mila Jovovich would take those guys out.
I would have more faith in what's the guy's name that played? He was in Game of Thrones.
Peter Dinklage.
I I would have more faith in his badassery to save me than Mark Wahlberg's.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Peter Dinklage, listen, man, you know, because like every celebrity likes to be called by their first and last name. Peter Dinklage, I need you to go charm them into not shooting everybody.
Josh's kids would take them out faster.
No doubt.
Okay. And I don't think not one of them's over the age of 16.
No, none of them.
Oh my God.
Wow. Okay. I don't know what to say now. I don't want to apologize to Mark Wahlberg, but Jesus Christ, if he's listening to the show.
I don't apologize to him for a damn thing. He's a talentless hack who is a racist son of a bitch. And I can't stand him. He's got a punchable face. Now, would I punch him? Hell no, the guy's ripped. But I would gladly hire someone at Muscle Beach and Venice Beach to go up and punch him in the face. Like, hey, here's $200, go punch Mark Wahlberg. In which case he'd be like, here's $5,000, go punch him instead. In which case you see my ass running down the sidewalk.
What is he, like 5'1"?
No, I think he's like average height. I mean, he's not Tom Cruise.
No, he looks tall. He looks short. He looks short as hell.
One's confusing opinions of Brandon Young don't necessarily reflect those of the WADcast in our studios.
But then you have other people in the industry outside of Mark Wahlberg and Harvey Weinstein. You have people like Roman Polanski, very talented director.
Very.
You know what? I was having this conversation with my girlfriend about like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago about I don't know what it is about some very talented people being absolutely horrible people. You have some of the most brilliant minds belonging to the most just horrific human beings. Roman Polanski has done so many beautiful films over the years, and he's still studied in film schools. Despite everything, I mean, The Pianist. Now you have The Pianist, you have Chinatown. You have these movies that are just instant classics. Like these movies are phenomenal movies.
I watched two of his movies recently. I watched Frantic and Bitter Moon. About a month ago.
Yep, so, I watched Frantic this past week actually.
Yeah.
And Bitter Moon is another one. Like, I mean, and once the rape allegations really started coming back to bite him, he wasn't something like where he fled the United States to stay in France or something like that to avoid arrest, or I forget what it was.
To avoid prosecution, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, speak about not atoning for your past there. I mean, and he still makes plenty of. Sorry, I just got a text here. He still has plenty of films that he's done in the last couple of years.
In France they don't care about that stuff.
Oh yeah, no, France is like the city of romance despite age, apparently. Right. So, you have that Roman Polanski, brilliant director, brilliant writer. But would you kind of I mean, obviously this is like answers it for myself. Of course, I mean, I still watch some of his films. Don't know if he makes any money off of them, but like I said, I just watched one of his movies earlier this week. Chinatown was about 3 weeks ago.
I've only seen The Pianist and Rosemary's Baby as far as movies from him goes.
Yeah. Okay. Rosemary's Baby, it's another classic film. It's actually a very well done, well thought out horror. But actually, speaking of horror, let me ask you guys this, okay? There is a horror film that came out early this, right at the turn of the century. Jeepers Creepers.
You know what's funny? I was going to bring him up.
Yeah, Victor Salva.
Yeah.
First off, if you look at a picture of Victor Salva, he looks like a pedophile.
Right, and he did Powder as well.
With him, wasn't something like raping a 13-year-old boy back in the 80s or something?
Right.
Convicted and found guilty of raping a child. And I forget who it was. There was a producer that just saw something in him And it was like, oh, well, his past shouldn't define him, so I'm going to let him make a movie. Now, Powder was an amazing film. I love Powder. I think it's such an amazing film.
Was it though?
I thought it was well. Okay, by amazing, I love the story. I love how beautiful it was. It is a very touching story about an outcast, and really just like an outcast that like feels everything in the world and has this sincere level of sympathy. That's why if not a beautiful film, it's a beautiful story. But the thing is Victor Salva being the director of it, and also the writer of it. I'm thinking this goes back to I love the screenplay. How could such a great screenplay come from a child rapist?
I mean, I don't think he summoned his child rapey powers to write it.
No.
So he just basically, he's just a talented person who is a sick person. And I love the Jeepers Creepers movies, except for the third one. The third one was perfect.
Yeah, the third one was like a little too sci-fi channel-y for me.
Right.
But
the first two, well, especially the first one.
The first one was my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jeepers Creepers 3, I think that's when the internet started catching up with him. And people were like, oh my god, he's a child rapist. I'm like, I've known that for years. Did you hear about this guy? He's a child rapist. Like, well, I guess thank God for Facebook for being useful for once. Yeah, he is a child rapist. It's horrible. But I think he also had child pornography or something like that in the 80s when he got convicted.
Yeah. Like I said, I like the movie. I'm glad I didn't find that out until after I seen him. It's really good. A good movie, but he's just, I can't support him. He's a sick individual. So.
Exactly. And the way I look at it is I've seen Jeepers Creepers. I've seen Jeepers Creepers 2. I've seen these before I knew what he was.
Right.
Now, I don't feel sorry for watching them. I hate the fact that he made any money off of me. But I will say that, I saw those movies. I remember them very well because they are memorable films if you really enjoy, those kind of horror films. But now that I've seen them, I actually own one. If I want to watch it, I can just pop it in, and he's not making any more money off of me. So I'm like, okay, well, I own Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2 on DVD. I've had them for 12 years now. Before I found out what he was. So I'm not going to go burn the DVDs because obviously, I paid money for them and I'm not much of a burning person. But still. But who else is on anybody's list here?
There's so many.
Yeah, I don't think it's a matter of trying to find a name and trying to figure out which one to transition to.
Okay. Well, I can transition to one more.
Go ahead.
Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
I hate the fact that he's even in the midst of any of this stuff, but he is. I think it was on either Now You See Me 1 or Now You See Me 2. Someone, I guess, accused him of groping or some kind of sexual misconduct. He flat out apologized for it, which I look at that as an admission of, I did this. I mean, it's not vehemently saying it's I never did this. It's flat out yeah, I'm sorry. I'm okay. That's all I've been able to find. That's all I've really got the time to really look into it the last couple days because of my schedule. But Morgan Freeman's he's a very prolific actor. He has been for years. Plus, he's got that very soothing voice that, come on, let's face it, it's Morgan Freeman's voice. I could listen to narrate the end of the world. But you have again, he's one of many actors and powerful people in Hollywood who are in a scandalous situation. And it's not just like, like, oh, I was in an accident, I ran away like Halle Berry did. It's like one of these, like, oh, there's actual some level of sexual assault of some level or sexual misconduct, however you want to call it. But very disgusting behavior.
His stuff was BS. I'm going to be honest with you. I looked into his thing, and his thing wasn't real.
What's that, the sexual allegations?
No, honestly, they were trying to make things out of nothing. To be honest with you, like even the thing that he apologized for, was, it wasn't really that big of a deal. I'm just being honest.
No, that's fine. No, that actually brings me to a side point that I was going to make in the whole thing. Between, like, also I meant to bring up with Johnny Depp too. When things get brought up, and because let's be honest here, all cards on the table, there are a lot of allegations that happen that are simply that, allegations or accusations of someone either looking to be famous or looking to make a name for themselves or looking to bring down a powerful person because they don't like them or whatever the deal is. Sometimes things are made that are falsified and fictitious and completely fabricated. So when those happen, do you fight harder for that celebrity to show your support? Or do you just go about living your life like, oh, okay, well, never mind. I'll keep watching the shit.
Yeah, I don't fight. That's on him to fight, but yeah. But I definitely, I felt like that was a kind of a silly thing, the whole thing with
What was the backstory on that? Because I only saw like the sexual assault allegation that it was related to like something Now You See Me 1 or 2. And I just found that the other day, but like I said, my schedule is so erratic that I have not really had time to really dive into him because I had so many on my list.
He touched a young lady that, I think a lot of older guys, they talk with their hands, So like they, I'm not saying he was rubbing her by the coochie or something like that, but like he put his hands on her, but it was one of those things where you say, hey, I don't feel comfortable. And I'm sure he would have backed off. But that's another thing is a lot of these things could be dealt with by just talking to, saying, hey, excuse me, sir, it's personal space or whatever. And then most people would go, oh, I'm sorry. Because some people, when they deal with people, well, until me too, they, some people are just touchy people. Like I've worked with women who, when they talk to you, they grab your arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then there's some guys that, a lot of times, especially if they're older, they're just from a time where that was fine, And but some of these people are really going overboard with because they're waiting years later to then go, oh my God, I was felt up. Like, seriously, was that really necessary to do that to somebody, years later, to say that, you couldn't have just said, hey, what you did was not cool, or I didn't care for it. But did it have to become a public thing where you're trying to ruin somebody's life?
Yeah, it's like, see, I'm torn on that because there are situations like going back to Harvey Weinstein. There are situations where I can understand like being in the film industry, being an upcoming actress and everything else, and having this big Hollywood producer do something really disgusting like what Harvey Weinstein did, and then says like, I'll bury your career, and just like if you say anything. So I can understand the fear, and then as the actress gets more famous and gets more power themselves, to go back to like,
but that's a different situation.
Well, no, exactly. What I'm saying is like, I understand what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. Like, I mean, if something like that happens, report it immediately. Now, I get why. So I understand also from the victim standpoint that there are reasons why some women do not immediately report things like that because there's a lot of fear that goes on. But now, if it's something as simple as, just, I don't know, like just like the brushing up against someone, or like if some sick ass guy like on a train like just rubs his hand against a girl's ass cheek or something like that. First off, I would fully support the girl and laying the motherfucker out. And there's my one per show, laying the guy out. But with these other situations here, like, yeah, when there's someone coming out of like woodwork against an actor, like, oh, back in like the spring of 1991, in this location, this is what happened. Like, well, that's 30 years ago, man. Like, yeah. You waited more than a quarter of a lifetime to come up and say something about this actor. Like, just, I don't know. I have my views are not popular when it comes to a lot of things, and there are times where I want to call bullshit until, further proof is put up. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua, it's a tripod here, buddy. You're quiet.
No, I was thinking of some of the other names, and like we mentioned before, there's so many, from Michael Jackson to Woody Allen, Kevin Spacey. All of these guys have had to face accusations, and I don't want to speak all these guys in the same breath and basically say they're all the same, but they do fall into the category of accusations that make one pause when it comes to showing their support. Michael Jackson, I don't think anything ever really stuck, as far as the court of public opinion. There's some people that believe that he's guilty of everything that he's accused of. I personally don't fall into that camp. Thinking of just the fact that he, I don't know how to put this other than he's always just been a kid. Never really grew up, that kind of thing. So I have no problem believing that things were to him not lewd or insidious, but that seems to be a running theme so far when it comes to these people we're talking about, sexual assault, rape, and other things falling into that category. And someone that comes to mind that actually did a very unspeakable act. And I'm going to say it will fall under our purview. There is, or was, a guy by the name of Chris Benoit.
Oh, well, he killed him, but he's dead, though.
Yeah. Thing is, and I think this sort of applies. No, you can't boycott any of his future matches by any means. But for those that don't know, Chris Benoit was a wrestler for the WWF, or was it at the time? I don't remember. When he went there, when they changed everything over. Anyway, it's irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, he killed his wife, then he killed his son, and then he killed himself.
Yep.
And it is so... when it happened, it was very difficult to process. Because being the wrestling fan that I am, it was one of those... You followed it closely, especially as news broke. It was on a pay-per-view weekend. And he was set to have a big match that Sunday night. And, word started getting out that things were being changed and didn't know why. And then suddenly, Chris Benoit's dead. And it's like, what? What happened? And then they said they found him and his family dead. And it's like, no way. That's just crazy. How the hell could that happen? And then the whole murder-suicide thing started coming to light. And a lot of us were like, no, that's not possible. Because we've seen the interviews over the years with the guy, and we know that his family was his everything, and all of the firsthand accounts of the guy being just the quintessential family man, right? I don't know what led to what happened that night, but there is always the question, and it's a very valid question. He was one of the greatest to ever step foot in the ring. Can you honor his career without honoring the man?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is it's been, I think, it's been talked about with him that a possibility of the reasons for his, murder or suicide situation was due to, chronic traumatic encephalopathy or something like that. It's CT. It's pretty much like punch drunk.
Yeah, concussions.
And I remember reading about that a while back, and it's something that can very much lead to behavioral problems, mood problems, like how you process things, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. It's an actual disease. There's no cure for this. It is something that gets worse, and some people have actually had to be institutionalized for this. So with him, he's been wrestling since the early 90s, since before that actually, on his rise up. That man, all the blows he's taken to the head, all the injuries he's sustained, kind of begs the question how many other wrestlers are dealing with the same thing that they may not know about. But with him, it's just snap, crackle, pop, basically. Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he strangled his son and his wife and then hung himself or something like that.
Yeah.
So
why couldn't he have done the last part first?
you know what? I am not someone that is supportive of suicide. I understand that it is something that they feel it's a way out. But you know what? If there's any thought that you're going to harm somebody else and then harm yourself, either A, turn yourself in, get the help that you need, or B, if you don't want to take that option, then take care of yourself and leave the other people alone. They'll be better off without you than they will be in the ground with you. It's horrible. I probably sound very cold saying that, but, I'm not a fan of suicide, but I'm less of a fan of murder. Especially when it comes to women and children.
And people out there, if you are a fan of suicide and murder, please call us so we can say you're very weird.
Yeah, I will say this, though. If you guys do struggle with any kind of suicidal tendencies, if you guys have any issues, please get help. Call the Suicide Awareness Hotline. This is the one time I'll actually be serious on the show. Get the help that you deserve. If you're a rapist, kill yourself.
If you look in the chat, I already added the website for Suicide Prevention Hotline.
Oh, good. So...
But that brings us back to the question, can you honor his career? Like I said, one of the best to ever do it. Period. Had some of the best matches ever in the business. But it's always going to have that shadow hanging over it. That's why the WWE has not put him in the Hall of Fame. That's why they don't acknowledge his existence at all. And like the WrestleMania, we just had WrestleMania last week? Yeah, last weekend. And, the main event Sunday was a triple threat for the title. Chris Benoit won his championship in a triple threat. But when they talk about that history, they're like, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and somebody else. I imagine if they could edit him out of the match completely, they would, but he won the damn thing. So it'd be a little more difficult to make those arrangements. So their idea for this situation was to kind of distance themselves from his memories and his career for a very long time. And I know that over the years there have been a few things added to the WWE Network, which is no longer a thing in the U.S. anymore, by the way. And I don't know if Peacock is going to continue to rewrite that history. But can you honor the career without honoring the man? I mean, what are your thoughts?
No, I don't watch wrestling, so that's easy. Kinte?
I don't watch it either, but just to kind of answer what you said, it's hard, man. After what he did, I just can't see. I would always be thinking about that while I'm watching it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can look past other stuff, but that'd be too difficult.
Yeah.
And the only reason I bring it up is because, like I mentioned before, the vast majority of the people that you have to kind of talk about in this regard when it comes to the art and the artists, it's all sex related. It's all kind of under the same umbrella. But this, I wanted to go somewhere where it was different. This is a lot different than that. You know, murder suicide is a drastically different animal, and neither of you guys watch wrestling, so it's not like you have interest in looking back at those old matches anyway. But just for my answer, I guess I wish there was a way to do it, to recognize the career, but I can't watch his work without having that in the back of my mind. And I think just as we move away from this part of the show, I think it's very unfortunate that another one of my sons is using the name to get into wrestling. And I don't think anybody in their right mind would sign somebody using that name. And if they do, it's going to be, in my opinion, in poor taste. So that's where I stand on, can you support people that kill children? I'm going to say no. Even after they've offed themselves.
No.
So back to, I guess, Hollywood in general. There are, and I'm going to try and give this, turn the show towards a lighter side. There's some actors out there. There are celebrity types that absolutely seem to exemplify the positive values that you would want in a high-profile figure, right? Keanu Reeves comes to mind.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
You know, when he takes pictures with people he does not, touch. There are some people that don't touch because of germs. Keanu Reeves, he seems to be very open and mindful about, I want to respect your space. So I am not going to, touch you, no matter how much some people might beg. Just hug me. He's like, no. Because that's how things get talked about. That's how stories get started, whether they're true or not. And it's always been a personal philosophy of mine. I know I'm not, anybody, but I think it's just good advice that if you don't put yourself into questionable situations, if you don't leave yourself open, then chances are you won't be falsely accused of something because you'll always, you'll have what you have, which is the truth. At least if you, I hate to think, gosh, it's been a long day. Words. One of my favorite things to use is the buddy system. No matter where you are, no matter who you talk to, I use it at my day job. Because working with young people, it's a good idea to always have a buddy. And I make sure that whenever I have to talk to somebody, there is somebody else there. Because for the protection of the kid, they need somebody to look out for them. And for the protection of me, I need to make sure that somebody is able to be there to see what I'm saying and doing. Maybe it's a little paranoid, but this is a paranoid world we live in, and anybody can be accused of anything at any time. So when you're in a position like this, you kind of have to watch your not watch your back, but cover yourself. And just doing simple things like stay in view of the camera, have a witness. Don't let anybody put you in a situation where you can be accused of something. And hopefully, just doing simple things like that will make shows like this, not the show itself, but the topics like this less necessary.
Yeah.
But of course, there's still going to be scumbags like Polanski running around. And, it's funny. When he what was the pianist? He was nominated and won the Oscar for, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
He was told, "Come on to the States. We'll let you get your Oscar. It's not a problem. We're not going to arrest you." and he was so like, nah.
I mean, seriously, it was like a Tom and Jerry moment there. It's like, come on.
If you win, we're going to let you, we'll let you get your Oscar. And I have no doubt in my mind that the Justice Department would allow him to enter the country, go to Los Angeles, receive his Oscar, and give a speech. But then as soon as that's over, they're like, "Hey, Polanski, you got your Oscar. That means our deal's done. Come with us." So he had, I guess, a little foresight to not come back to the place that he's a convicted sex offender.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea not to do that.
And like I said, I've seen two of his movies. I still want to see Chinatown, but I don't know. I looked at his career and see he's made a lot of films, and here I am. I'm like, I've seen two. And I don't know. I've seen one Woody Allen movie.
Oh, we have a comment.
Do we?
Oh. Okay, never mind. It was the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. I'm sorry. It was from the WADcast. We have a comment from the WADcast, guys. Please go ahead. Sorry.
That WADcast always interrupting the WADcast.
Hell, man. God, this guys suck.
Awful. No wonder they only have one person to watch. But yeah, I've seen one Woody Allen movie, and I wish I could say it's because I have some sort of higher moral fiber than somebody else. But quite frankly, it's not something that really falls into my purview of interest. I watched. Can either of you guess what Woody Allen movie I've watched?
The Lady Killers.
No idea. What is it?
I've watched Radio Days.
No.
Should have been easier than that, you guys. Come on. Radio. You know me. I have a podcast about Jack Benny.
Oh.
But yeah, that's the only Woody Allen movie I've watched. And I know someone that we both kind of know on Facebook, Brandon, has made quite a few posts about Woody Allen over the last few weeks as that documentary came out.
To me?
Yeah.
No, I haven't even seen that documentary. I just know he's a piece of shit.
No. Well, I just meant the person. I don't know if you're friends with him or not, actually. But I know that when the documentary came out, opinions really started coming out. Right.
This is the first I'm hearing about a documentary. But go ahead.
You haven't heard about the documentary?
I have not. I have been using Facebook for memes. That's about it.
Okay. What was Kinte? HBO? Was it that did Allen versus Pharaoh or something like that?
Yeah. I didn't watch it, but yeah, I know about it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it either. But it's a documentary about the divorce of Woody Allen and Mia Farrow and the accusations of sexual abuse and grooming. What's her face to be the next wife, I guess. I don't know how much of it's true. You know, documentaries they exist to tell a story to exemplify a point. And it was clear that the makers of this documentary, at least from what I understand, because I haven't seen it, so take what I say with a grain of salt. It was evident from the responses that I've seen that this was made to point out that Woody Allen is a piece of human filth.
Oh, yeah.
But this, of course, is not news, right?
Well, I mean, how long has he been married to his foster daughter? Or his stepdaughter, wherever the hell she is. I mean, it's like, that's the thing. Like, I mean, that is honestly, you were raising her to train her how to please you, basically. Like, I mean, that's the whole gist. So, what's it, shaping them, or what's the term that people use when they, grooming, that's what it is, grooming. That's what he was doing. In my mind, that's exactly what he was doing.
Let's see. According to the internet, they've been together since 97, so 24 years.
And how old was this girl when she first came into his life?
Let's see.
Like a little kid, a teenager? I forget. I know she was young.
Hold on, you're going to have to give me a second.
That's okay.
You can vamp, so there's not dead air. I'm just trying to find.
Well, I'm just surprised he hasn't pulled a DiCaprio and traded her in for a younger model. I mean, it just. Not to say DiCaprio is into kitties. It's just like, his girlfriends all pretty much stay the same age. So, I mean. But you know what? It's Leonardo DiCaprio. His looks are, his age is just finally starting to catch up with him.
All right. According to Wikipedia, her first friendly interaction with Allen, Woody Allen, took place when she was injured playing soccer during 11th grade, and Allen offered to transport her to school. Following her injury, she began attending New York Knicks basketball games with Allen. So,
yep, she was a kiddie.
17 or so?
Still. Yeah, he was on it. He was making investments until the wine was just right.
Let's see.
He was marinating that steak. God, that's gross to say out loud. My God, that sounds so much funnier in my head. God. No, Woody Allen is filth. I mean, it's like no, not a fan of his. Just his movies are usually just, to me, they're really boring and I don't know. He's very full of himself. He's like an older, Paul Feig to me. Just Paul Feig is, dare I say, funnier. And actually, he kind of tells better stories. Except for Ghostbusters 2016. For that, Paul Feig, burn in hell.
It's like, can you forgive an artist if the problem is their art?
No, never. You're either. It's like Uwe Boll. It's like him. He's not an artist. I will say he's brilliant for how he makes his films. I mean, he films them all, I believe, in Germany for the most part. And the only film where he really stepped away from the video game genre that I actually kind of dug it was Rampage, about some guy just going postal on an entire town. It was a messed up movie, but it was 1,000 times better than anything he'd ever put out before that.
Brandon, there's a message in the chat.
Oh, hello, Mark.
What is wrong with you?
I'm looking at the StreamYard chat. I didn't look at the Facebook chat.
No. I mean, someone says, somebody Mark says hello, and you're like, oh, hello, Mark. No, the line is, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. No, you got to do the whole tell me what's so left. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Do you understand life? Do you? God, I hate the fact that I know that movie.
I've seen it so many times.
I finally watched it for the first time, not stoned or drunk. And
congratulations.
It's so much better when you're stoned or drunk. There's so many spoon decorations. I will say this. To answer your question, let's go to Tommy Wiseau with The Room. No, you cannot forgive an artist based on their art. Now, the whole rooftop was all green screen. And to make this movie, there was actually like a multi-million-dollar, but not a big budget. But it was like, I think, $3 or $4 million, like, for everything for this film for the budget. That green screen was unforgivable. Now, and I get the fact that it was made in like 2002, like, so whatever. And it was by a first-time filmmaker. But Mark popping in and saying hello to us reminded me that just a few weeks ago, Mark posted this test video using a model house with a Mark. I forget if it was a green screen or blue screen background that you used on this, but he pretty much cropped in like this storm setting behind it. Now, he filmed this inside of his house with a model on a table with just like, a green screen, blue screen, whatever it was background. And it looked amazing. There was no little like feathering around the model, nothing like that. But, oh God, man, The Room. No, forget that movie. Like, nope, can't do it. Tommy Wiseau, there's a reason why he only made, well, no, he made another film after that. Best Friends or something, I forget.
Was that his movie, though?
I think that was his.
Or was he just in there with Craig Sestero?
No, I had to look. Being that his name was attached to it, I very happily passed on it. But, yeah.
Okay, it was,
besides, it was horrible
written by Greg Sestero, directed by Justin McGregor.
Okay, well then I might give it a shot then, because I mean, even Greg Sestero is apparently like one of his best friend, and he did him dirty. Like, he's even admitted to what he did as far as, like, making, Greg Sestero shave his beard off and everything else because he needed him for that scene. He would not give him the day off to go film one scene on Malcolm in the Middle. He completely screwed him. Like, just very jealous and sabotaged his own best friend's career. So, Thelma Wiseau's just a horrible person. I don't like him. So, I'm going to talk about a toxic friendship there. But it is about that time, guys. I am going to have to get going because, tonight is my Friday night. I work the night shift. Or, if you're a Stephen King fan, the graveyard shift. Huh. And, but, no, there's so much to touch upon with the subject. And I really, Josh, I wish that we had done this sooner because then I could have actually spent more time with more stuff. But I would love to have this to be continued with the art versus the artist for another show.
We can touch on it again sometime down the road. But I think to go back to the beginning of the show, where I gave the spoiler alert, it seems like what we're all saying is that you're going to have to use your own moral compass to figure out exactly what people's actions are worth to you and the entertainment you consume, whether or not their actions are worthy of your own personal boycott, or maybe even gathering people to stop watching these works altogether. Or if you can go, you know what? It's not really my problem, and I like these things, so it is what it is. It's up to you to decide.
Exactly.
So how about we get this show closing started, Kinte? Where can people find you on social media and tell us about your 72 other shows that you're working on per week?
Why does everybody say that? I'm actually only working on really one at the moment.
Really? Because I believe when I was on... what was the show we did Wednesday?
Really?
What was it? Kinte, what was it? Come on.
Mars Venus.
Mars Venus was what? That was something else. Anyway. There's that. And then on that show, you announced 2 new podcasts that you're doing. Yeah. And then, of course, the Indie Showcase. And Cinema du Fromage, which is due for a comeback. And Kinte, you have... You put in the work, man. Be proud of it. Tell everybody what you're doing.
I am proud of but I detect a hint of sarcasm. Is that even a word? A hinge? But anyway, no. You can get me at Kinte F on Twitter, Kinte Ferguson on Instagram, and of course the website is indyradio.org. That's indyradio.org, and join us every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern for Men and Women Talk, the Mars Venus Show.
I have started spreading the word about no pushers allowed.
Thank you.
I do have some tennis playing friends, and they are really excited to check that out. So
nice. Did they know what a pusher was?
No. I talked to one particular friend, and he's like, I always called them lobsters.
Hilarious.
Huh. And I had no idea what any of it meant. But I'm trying to get the word out there. Brandon, what are you doing? Where can people reach you?
Well, you can find the WADcast on Facebook at facebook.com/the WADcast. And also on Instagram, the same thing, instagram.com/the WADcast. You'll know our page because we have that black picture with a white banner that says WADcast inside the banner. You can also find me on Instagram myself, bjacksman82. I don't post on those forms of social media much, but I do post once in a while. So feel free to stop by there and harass me. And that's where you can find me. My personal Facebook, you won't get it. So what about you, Josh?
Well, as always, you can find me on Twitter at SkitComic or Semicore Studios. You can follow the WADcast at WADcast Pod. I'll be honest, I'm not a prolific tweeter, but I'll give it a shot every now and then. And if I see something that's newsworthy, or if I just created an awesome mix on Fuser, I'll throw that up there. You can go to Semicore Studios on Facebook, facebook.com/Semicore Studios. Give it a like, find out what other shows are coming your way from Semicore Studios, like this one every Friday night here at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. We are here to talk about writers, actors, directors, and everything in between. There are a lot of projects coming down the pipeline, and a lot of things I'm really excited about. And hopefully, sometime soon, we'll even be able to dedicate a whole episode to some of that stuff. And, Brandon, I know you're excited about what we're working on. I'm excited about what we're working on. And I just know now it's not the right time to tell everybody.
It's not for prying eyes or ears.
Right. So just know that we got some things working on here, and it's going to be exciting days ahead. So, with all that being said, I'm going to cue the music for the podcast listeners and begin tonight's final message. Remember, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is you. The world of entertainment is so democratized these days. I am creating DJ mixes and posting them online, and I am terrible at music. So, if I can create something in the music realm and put it out there, you can certainly take your phone and make a movie. You can take your banjo and create a classic. Do whatever it takes to make sure that you follow your dreams. Don't wait for somebody to give you permission. But if you're a sleazebag, don't expect to get a pass just because you followed your dreams and made it happen. So with that being said, I'm Josh. That's Brandon. Over there's Kinte. I hope you all have a good night. And remember,